All right. These are my LeetCode challenges, demonstrating understanding the variables, operators, basic syntax, and conditionals by solving the following problems. We have second highest salary, nth highest salary, department highest salary, rank scores, rising temperature, and consecutive numbers. So we'll just go, I have this stored in Visual Studio Code. So here is second highest salary. This is solution number one. The first thing we wanted to do right here was remove duplicates. So if two employees make the same salary, we only want to count it once. For example, 100, 200, 200, 300 becomes 100, 200, and 300. That's what this line of code does. And then order by salary, DESC. Now we line up the salaries from biggest to smallest to get them in order, 300, 200, and 100. And then limit 1 offset. Offset 1 means skip the first row, the highest salary. Limit 1 means take the next one. So 300, 200, 100, skip 300 and take 200. So to wrap it up, select as the second highest salary. We wrap it up in select so that no second salary, so if there's no second salary, it returns null instead of nothing. So for example, distinct 100, 200, 300, order DESC 300, 200, 100, offset 1, skip 300, which is the highest, limit 1, get 200. The final answer would be 200. All right, so next we're going to go over the department highest salary. So we have, first we want to find the highest salary in each department. So we use the select from department ID, from employee, and by group department ID. So we group employees by department, then find the highest salary in each group. And then what we do is we match employees to the highest salaries, where E department ID, E dot salary in parentheses. So we only keep employees whose salary matches the highest salary in their department. And then we join together. The employee table has department ID, so we join to get the department name, like IT or sales. And then we select complete output. A clean output. Select D name as department, E name as employee, E salary. So we format the output to match what the problem wants. So we find the max salary per department, then return it, return all employees who match that max. So that's pretty much how that works. All right. So next, we need to rank the scores. We need to rank scores from highest to lowest. If two scores are the same, they should have the same rank, and we should not skip any numbers in the ranking. So we use select score. First, we want to sort the scores. So we do order by score, DESC. All right, so we sort scores from highest to lowest rank. One should be the highest score. Then we assign using the dense rank. And that assigns rankings based on that order. Handle ties, and it handles the ties correctly. There's no gaps in the ranking. After a tie, the next rank continues normally. No numbers are skipped. For example, 4 equals 1, 4 equals 1, and 3.85 It's 2, not 3. So we use backticks as rank. Rank is a reserved word in MySQL. So we use backticks to avoid the syntax error here. So we use this rank to assign rankings where ties share the same rank and no numbers are skipped. All right, next up we have rising temperature. And we use the goal here. We want to find the ID for days where the date is exactly one day after another date and the temperature is higher than yesterday. So step number 1, from weather, W1. There, enjoying weather, W2. We give the table 2 different names. W1 equals today and W2 equals yesterday. Excuse me. This is what's called a self-join. And then we match each day with the previous day. So on date diff, W1 record date and W2 record date equals 1. So keep only the days where today is hotter, where W1 temperature is greater than W2 temperature. And then we return today's ID. We'll select W1.ID. We return the ID of the day with the higher temperature. I use the self-join to compare each day's weather row to the row from previous day. And then I filtered for the rows where today's temperature was higher than yesterday's, and it returned that day's ID. All right. And then next up we have consecutive numbers. All right, so the goal here was we need to find numbers that appear at least 3 times in a row. The important part is consecutively, not just 3 times anywhere in the table. So we use the logs table 3 times from logs 1 and then join logs 2 on ID 1, 2 ID minus 1, and then join logs 3 on 2, 3 ID minus 1. So what that means is L1 is the first row, L2 is the next row, and L3 is the row after that. So we're creating groups like row 1, row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 3, row 4, and row 5. So I just joined the table to itself so I could compare the 3 consecutive rows at the same time. And then we want to make sure the rows are consecutive. So ID 1 equals ID 2 minus 1, and that checks LT. L2 comes right after L1, L3 comes right after L2, so the rows are side by side in that order, and then we check if the numbers are the same. Here, where L1 number and L2 number, this means only keep the groups that were first, second, and the third rows all have the same number. And then the 4th step is to remove duplicates. So we select distinct as consecutive numbers. And why distinct? Because if a number appears more than 3 times in a row, it may match more than once. So I use distinct. So each qualifying number only appears once in the result. So ultimately what I did here was I compared every group of 3 consecutive rows and checked whether all 3 values were the same. And if they were, I returned that number. So that concludes the LeetCode challenges for today. And thank you for your time. That concludes my presentation.